Hello, all you drama enthusiasts. Welcome to the meeting. This is Angie's Drama Room, and I am your meeting host, Angie. And today we are going to be doing my weekly roundup. These are dramas that I have either finished watching, still watching, or stopped watching. Thank you for joining in on the meeting. If you do not know what Angie's Drama Room is, I do commentary, my thoughts, my insight, and a little bit sometimes of a rant on Asian dramas that I have watched lately. And if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that subscription button. I appreciate every subscription I have gotten. I get a lot of views, but not much subscription. So why don't you go ahead and hit that subscription button if you have not already subscribed to my channel, and also hit that like button. That way others can also enjoy my reviews. All right, so let's talk about my weekly roundup. It's going to be a combination of both Chinese and Korean dramas because there's a lot of Chinese dramas that have been out lately. There have been a lot of Korean dramas, but it was just nothing that inspired me to watch. So I'm basically cutting them down to two, into both dramas into one show because that's kind of where I am right now. Let's talk about a drama that I have completely finished watching, and that is My Page in the 90s. This starred Xing Yu Chen and Wang Yu Wen. It's kind of cute. They are friends in real life because they went to the same school, and now they're portraying themselves in a drama together, romantic interest in a drama. Sometimes when you get friendships like that, it doesn't transpose into a chemistry base when you're watching the drama that they're in. But in this particular case, they are very excellent actor and actress, and they did a great job when it came to the romantic interest between the two. So that's kind of how it was. So basically, she didn't understand the concept of a 1999 romance type of tropes and things like that. So she gets transposed into 1999, where it's the novel, and it happens to be her name, and also the main lead, the character name in the novel too. Both of them had the same name. So what ended up happening was she gets there, so she has to have a lot of tasks that she has to complete, which basically means that the founders level from the male lead she has to make it to 100%. And once she gets 100%, she can leave the novel, basic novel world. She first took it as she kind of just tossed it aside and just tries to make the task come to fruition. But instead, by the time she got to the end of by the time she got to the end of the season, the novel, when she reached 100%, she did truly fall in love with our male lead. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a bold spoiler. I'm not going to try to tell you what actually happened at the end, because I think it's still playing at most platforms. I finished completely watching it on Tencent. They did have a advanced screening, but so they only showed one episode at a time. But if you're watching it maybe on YouTube or something like that and what have you, you may have not gotten through the full thing yet. But however, it's kind of understandable that she would fall in love with him by the time she reached 100% of founders level. And I like the thing when they first met and he had his shirt undone a little bit with a little crinkle. I like that scene. I like stuff like that when it comes to a male character or a male actor when he wears his shirt half buttoned down. It was kind of cute. I like him better on this one than Love Between Lines. He's still kind of same, but I kind of like him better. I liked him way better on here than the Love Between the Lines. So with her, she has a pager, and with the pager, it's giving her instructions what she has to do. I'm trying not to spoil it for you at the end of the episode, but however, it kind of just played out the role. I mean, it's just kind of played it out a little bit. The last episode, I think they could have cut it down. Really, they could have done it within 20 episodes instead of 24, because by the time we got to the end of 24, it took like 3 or 5 minutes just her spinning in a room, basically. So then at the end of the episode, they tried to explain what happened. My concept is, I will say, if you don't think of it as a novel, but if you think of it as a parallel universe, without saying it's a parallel universe. So if you get into your mindset, just think of it as a parallel universe. And I think it gets a little bit more interesting if you think of it that way. But again, I completely finished watching it. I did enjoy it. I love Wang Yuan. She was in You Are My Lover Friend. She's in other shows with when it comes to contractual marriages with the same male lead. But and I just truly enjoyed her. So that's the reason why I watched it, and because it was still interesting storyline. That was my page in the 90s. Let's talk about No Pain, No Gain. I'm still watching it, but slowly watching it. What is No Pain, No Gain? It's about, because I thought when I first heard about it, I thought it was be like this 80s show called The Brewster's Million, where in the Brewster Million, in order to him inherit $300 million, he had to blow $30 million. Here with No Pain, No Gain, it's still the same concept. It's not like he inherited, but however, it's this eccentric billionaire, as you want to say it. He offered this guy money. It didn't specifically state how much he gave him, but it was 6 zeros. So it has to be at least a billion wands or unlimited, basically unlimited money. So now he has to figure out how can he get this money, and how can he blow money. So he talked about certain businesses. So one of the businesses was a video game. If the video game company loses money, he gets to pocket whatever the loss was. His base salary is only 5,000 wands, and which a month. That's his base salary. And so he thought it would be easy. Okay, I could blow this really quickly, and he thought he can keep the money. But however, the task has it where he keeps winning. You know, the businesses start growing. So he hires these like low level, basically, I don't want to call them losers, but people who have had a hard time keeping jobs. But my concept is if you offer more money to somebody, they're going to try to work more harder than what they were doing when they were at a deadbeat job. And so that's kind of the concept. He thought he can give them all this money and tell them not to do nothing. But in their minds, they're like, they just, cause sometimes some of them just could not just do that. They had to work it because they were so appreciative. So they were trying to find a way to help the business grow. Again, I think we're still in the middle of the episode, so it's not finished yet, but I am watching it, but I'm slowly watching it. Let's talk about a Korean drama called Our Universe. Here we have it where we have young adults in their early 20s who we have the female lead who was her sister, and then we had the male lead who has a brother. Now the male lead brother, something happened with the family, so he had to put his brother into an orphanage in order to survive, but he never came back from the brother, so they never saw each other for almost 10 years. Okay, or something like that. The female lead, she loved her sister and her sister loved her, but she always had issues trying to get a position, a job. So the female lead's sister was trying to have her stay with her, but she felt guilty. So then she thought that her sister didn't want to get married because of the fact, because of her. So she ended up having her sister and the male lead's brother. They finally did get together because they were dating. So that's kind of how it worked. 3 years later, the sister gets pregnant, and then here we are. What happens from that point on? And then it ended up where our male and female lead ends up having to take care of their child. The drama actually is not bad. I was surprised. After they get away from the whole toddler antics, right? Trying to take care of a child and all this, they did a lot of the pooping diaper thing. But after that is kind of over with almost, it kind of is getting a little bit better. They're really going in on it. The male lead ended up having to, I think he had this apartment or something. And anyway, so he ends up having to move in with the female lead. First, he wasn't going to take care of the little boy. But something happened, and so he ended up having to watch the child while the female lead had to go get a job interview. Then now something happened to him. So now he needs the female lead's help. So now they're cohabitating together in her apartment where the sister and the brother was living. So now here we are. I think we're only up episode 2. We're going into episode 3 and 4, I believe. It's still being aired, and I'm still watching it. You know, when Korean dramas, you only get 2 episodes a week. So by the time, you know, you just wait until the next week so you can still be able to watch them as they come to fruition. So that was actually pretty good. It's actually good. Again, I got to get past the whole Tyler antics and maybe focus on how they're going to be cohabitating and taking care of the child together. Let's talk about Swords into Plowshares. This one is a historical costume drama. So it's not one of your idle romantic dramas. It's a historical costume drama. It reminds me of Games of Thrones. So they have a lot of players, a lot of people in characters, a lot of people in this telling a story. And I think they were saying it's supposed to be a span of 400 years, I suppose. I don't know. But I picked it up. I watched it, some of the episodes. It's okay. It's just dialogue and telling a story. So it's not like your idle costume dramas that you probably used to. But again, I kind of dropped it. It's just something that is not appealing to me. That's the only reason why. It actually wasn't too bad. Some of the people in there was from The Prisoner of Beauty. In the No Pain, No Gain, one of the generals were in there too from The Prisoner of Beauty. It was weird seeing him as trying to be a king because but I didn't see them as a lead like that. But okay. But it's again, it's something that it really wasn't too much interested into it. I just kind of just watching it. If this was the only drama, if you say you're only gonna pick one drama to watch, this is it, and it's a 48 episode drama. So yeah, it's gonna be drawn out a little bit. So that's kind of where it is. Then there was a micro drama or mini drama called Marry Him in Her Place. I read about it. I saw it. I said, what's going on with this one? So I did start watching it. It's basically about a split identity where it's a Republican era. So it's not contemporary. So, but it starts off with her being exiled. I can't remember exactly how it started. All I know is somehow she switches bodies. And now she is seeking revenge on her supposedly husband who actually did all this. So it reminds me of The Double, but in a mini drama with this kind of the same concept. But with this one, at least it's not saying it is actually her. It's somebody else. So yeah. But I did stop watching it. It's just not, it's something that it wasn't very catchy for me to continue to watch. There's one drama called Affinity, and people are loving Affinity. But I think at this time you can only watch it on Youku. And it's another mini drama. So I watched the first episode. That drama is crazy. It's cute. But it's a lot of sexual tension. So if that's kind of where you are, that's all it is. It doesn't make no lick of sense. It has no rhyme or reason. It's slapstick. It's funny. She runs into a wall frantically and faints. It's about it's like an apocalypse. It's like a disease hit the land, which we know what happened back in 2019. Everybody got affected by some type of thing. So then you have affinity Bs and affinity As. So if you were alpha A or alpha B, I don't know, I can't remember it. So the alpha Bs gravitate to the alpha A's. Not everybody was alpha A, but this one little girl, this woman was, the female lead was, the male lead was, and it first opens up as this male lead. Weird. He gets arrested for, Xing out his family. I don't know if it was his family or who family it is. And then we have the cops who are tasked to gather these alpha A's together. or Applebee's together. And they just kind of holding him. I'm like, he could just walk up and attack this girl. And so she's a high schooler, or I'm assuming because she was in a high school dress or something. And he's salivating over it. Now, why would you bring this girl to a crime scene like this? And she just standing looking. This is how it is. No rhyme or reason. If you want to, it's actually, if you just want something funny, if you like the whole sexual tension and all that, this is the drama for you. But I'm not going to, not going to go to Youku and try to pay for a Youku subscription to watch it. So it might still be on YouTube as episodes air, but there you go. Let's talk about Undercover Miss Hung. This is a Netflix. My last weekly roundup, I stated I never started watching it, but I picked it up. Actually, started watching it. It's not a bad drama. It's really not a bad drama. However, the dialogue and pacing, I have no idea what she is or what she's doing, why she's doing it. But I get it. So she's a financier. We're going into 1997. She's like a financial agent. So whatever department deals with the finances, that's what she was. She has a job. She went to college, so this is what it was. And basically, what they're trying to do is show women in the workplace in the 90s. That's kind of where it was. I kind of was a little, what's going on here? Because in the beginning, they made her seem too arrogant, or she was holding her nose up at these other women who are secretaries. There was nothing wrong being a secretary. Back then, that's what it was. I mean, that's kind of where the jobs were for women, in the workplace. So, there was nothing wrong. They were glad. So there were three women as secretaries, and here she is with her suit and a suit jacket and pants on, suit pants. And one of the women was trying to buy some stockings. And so when the women came up, and here we have our female lead, which is Park, she kind of turned her nose up against them because she thought they were, she was like, that's how she was. And so they were trying to buy some stockings, and the woman behind the counter said, well, I already sold them all to, which was Park. And so she grabs the stockings. I'm like, why is she wearing stockings? But okay. She only uses stockings because she needed them as a coffee filter. Yeah. So she was using coffee grinds, and she uses the stockings to filter the coffee grinds in order to get the coffee. So she poured the hot water, and yeah. So that's the reason why she was wearing stockings. And so she got pulled into a company who was doing some slush funding or something, or embezzling money, laundering money. And the CEO or the president of that company came to her, and she took on the case. And then something happened with the CEO of the company. She got demoted. But however, she still wanted to go after this company. And so she went undercover as a 20-year-old. Her thing was, there's no wavering. There's no gray area. Either it's black or either it's white. There's no gray. So when she actually used to work for this company. That's probably why she even took on it. But something happened. They wanted her to tell a little white lie, as they say, but she didn't want to go for it. So she got booted out. Her boyfriend was there, and the boyfriend did not stick up for her, so they separated. Now the boyfriend is back at this company as the president, because after the other president is no longer there, he comes in as the president, and now she's faking to be something, like she's saying she was the younger sister. And he's like, he knows it's her, but come on. Common sense. But that's kind of how Undercover Miss Song. I thought it was, it's a 16 episode drama. Right now we're not even we're just hitting the halfway mark over this weekend. So we still got 8 more episodes to go. I'm not quite sure what more to do. And again, it's just a bunch of dialoguing. And I really don't know. It's weird because I know where the book is that she's trying to find. And it kind of makes it seem like she's still trying to find the book. I'm like, well, it's right there. Who has the book? Your roommate has the book. But again, it's mostly about women, Korean women in the workplace in the 90s. That's kind of what this concept is. But she still is trying to find out who has this slush fund account. Then you have Unveil, Jadewind. Um, uh, this one is actually pretty good. It's on Netflix, I think. I can't remember. But anyway, this one stars Amidst a Snowstorm of Love, or The Double, talking about The Double again. This one stars the male lead from that. And then the female lead, of course, is Bai Lu. Actually, this is actually pretty good. The story's playing out right now. It's like she's a princess, but something happened with her family. But she was taken in by the royal courts. But then she's like an investigator. She's still a princess, but she's an investigator princess. The male lead, he is an astronomer. But again, it's still playing right now. I think it's 10 episodes. It is Netflix, but it's 10 episodes. I think right now I'm only on maybe going in episode 3. I'm slowly watching it. I'll see if I can continue watching it. Stay tuned for that. Then there was a movie. It's on Netflix, Korean movie. Even If This Love Disappears Tonight. At first, I thought it was going to be like 50 First Dates, which is an American version where it was with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. She had memory loss. She forgets. So she every morning when she wakes up, she forgets what's going on. That's the reason why I was going back to Positive Years. The male lead, he was in another show called Something Joy, where he had memory loss. And so he had to write down everything that happened. So I like that one. And at first I didn't think I was going to like this one, but I did watched it. I would say, without giving you a spoiler, it's not as sappy where you're going to cry unless you're that type of person who just cries on stuff. So it wasn't that sappy where you're going to cry on it. However, the ending was sad. It wasn't a happy ending that you would think it would be. So I'll leave it at that. And it's not what you actually thought. But so I was like, oh, is that it? I'm like, wow. She was the female lead. She was the one with the memory loss. So she has to write down everything the next day. But even though she writes it down every day, it's just that she doesn't remember the feelings. So she just playing it out how she's feeling, because this is what it said that she was writing. And so she goes up to the person each day, and that's how she works it out. And then we have How Dare You. This was another Chinese drama, costume drama, another going back into time traveling. They're calling it transmigration or transmigrating to a different era. Look, this is all they've been giving us lately. People coming from present day, going into the ancient time, whether it's going into a book, a novel, whether it's going into a script, whether it's going into a movie. I think it's time to move on from these right now. If you have not already pushed them out by now, you might as well just shelve it and just put it on it, because it's really, How Dare You to me. It's on Equiggly. It's a 32 episode drama, and I think it's just too much right now. And this one right here, it did star Shadow Love, Chong Lee, or Ryan Chong, or however you want to use his name. He's not bad. I'm not. Both of them, male and the female actor, it's not bad. And this one, they made it a little bit different. Usually, it's a female who goes into trying her back, just like Paige of the 90s. But this time, both of them went back into the novel world and playing out roles. So it's more than one person who goes into the novel world. So that's something different. But however, same concept. To me, in this one, it's like, why are you there? They're not necessarily explaining why they were there. Let me just take a look here. This is what they stated the synopsis is. And It was a workplace rookie named Wang Chi Hu unexpectedly finds herself inside the world of a novel, where she crosses paths with Zhang San, which is our male lead, Chang Li, another who is they call him transmigrator. So who is another transmigrator? So he's present day. She found out instantly in the beginning of the first episode. She found out that he was from the present world. A hit this time. Okay, so a hidden king. This is where his character was in the novel. He was a hidden king who has been biding his time for a decade. Now, I don't know if he was been there for 10 years already, or at this point, the king himself in the novel is 10 years later. I don't know. I'm so confused right now with this. I don't know who's who. We got another prince. We got a crown prince. We got the prince, the Emperor Dagwager, saying that's his stepmother, but the prince's son holds on really tight to the stepmother. I don't know. Anyway, one struggling against fate, the other concealing power behind a facade. The two join forces to survive. Survive what? I don't know. It's a book. They even know what's going on in the book. So, it's the book. There's another transmigrator in there too. So it's 3 of them so far. So they're trying to figure out who's who. So they know that this other woman's one. So I don't know if they're thinking another person is. So it's like they're playing out a role in the book. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make sense because it just seems like there's no reasoning to why she's there and why they picked her, because all she was just a workplace rookie. At least in my pages of the 90s, she was a love advice YouTuber, a counselor or something, advisor on a YouTube channel. At least that made sense why she would go into the novel world, because she was critiquing this novel about that. Here, I don't know. We haven't gotten to the fact is why he was in the novel world. Why they choose him of all people? He doesn't even know why he's there. And it just so happens she knows the book, and then of course just so happens the other transmigrator, she knows the book. So they were just using this book to play out a role. I'm thinking they were trying to change the fate of our Melly, Chang Li. I don't know. So suffice to say, I might be dropping it. I don't know if I will pick it up, if there's nothing, if I'm in between something, because it does take a lot, because they do have a lot more episodes played out. So it's something, if I'm not binge watching, if I really loved it, I would binge watch it all episodes and nonstop. But I'll stop there, I go somewhere else, watch something else, and I go from back and forth. So it's not binge worthy right now, even though they got 10 episodes in. So that's what, How Dare You. So those are the dramas that I have either finished watching. I think it's only maybe 1 at this time, but it's going to be 2 or 3 as this weekend finish airing. I'm still watching. And then, of course, the ones I have stopped watching. Again, thank you. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, you go ahead and hit that subscription button. I appreciate every subscription that I have gotten. Please, I just ask you, even if you just hit that subscribe button, I'll get thrown to maybe down at the end of your subscription base. But I really appreciate it if you're going to hit that subscription button. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. And tell me, what dramas have you been watching lately? Tell me what you wanted me to talk about, if there's a drama that you want me to talk about, because that's what I hear. This is a meeting. You're all joining in together in a discussion and talk about the dramas that we've been watching lately on Korean, Chinese, or any Asian dramas that I have been watching lately. Let's talk about this Japanese, the cross between the Japanese and Korean dramas lately. Either it's Japanese based but it has a Korean actor, or is it Korean based but has a Japanese actor. This Love Cannot Be Translated. I started watching it. I stopped watching that one. There was one called Something with the Chocolate. That one I finished watching the whole way through, but I think because it was Japanese based drama, maybe that was probably why. And it was a Korean girl in there, it's a female lead. So we've been seeing a lot of those going out lately. But however, some of them I've picked up and some of them I stopped watching. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in on the meeting. Thank you for joining on the discussion. Go ahead and leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscription button. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Meeting adjourned.